I'm Jacquelynn with Photography by Jacquelynn, and I'm about to set my studio up for a classic business headshot session here in Tucson, Arizona. I want to show you what my studio looks like before, and then show you the after, and then hopefully show you what the pictures look like in this space. So what I'm basically doing here is I'm setting up a classic white backdrop for a studio headshot for someone that they need for their work website. I have ProPhoto lights that I use. They're actually not the studio ProPhoto lights. They're ProPhoto lights that I use outdoor as well. I choose to use a full large softbox, which creates the most coverage, and then a smaller softbox that's more for like highlights or shadows, depending on how I'm using it. And I'm setting them up at a not the same exact lighting ratio. When I want shadows, I usually set this one at, I use power in my head, it's 4, and then this one at 8, but I also have to adjust that based on ambient light in the room. I turn the modeling lights on so that I can see what the actual fall of light looks like. I also have a V-flat that I use, and I can turn this to black if I want to maximize the shadows, or I can keep it white if I want to just use it more as intended, which would be as a reflective type surface. I will occasionally bring in a chair if I want them to do some seated shots. We have some doors, and the doors close and I can get a nice wood wall if I want something a little bit more rustic or warm, and in that case I usually use a one light setup. I don't have a lot of space to back up in this room, so for the most part I'm shooting with a 24-70 and getting literal headshots and also some full body shots. For studio, I'm mostly doing boudoir, newborn, some high school senior, and headshots. But for boudoir, then this whole area becomes dark and black for black backdrop or dark gray. And then I also can use the wood wall and some of the wall space. I've set the studio up for a classic headshot, and it is basically on a white backdrop, and I only have a 2-light setup right now. So basically it's going to be a key light and a fill light and a cat in the background who I'm going to chase out in a moment. The fill light is gonna fill in the shadows. The key light's gonna be the actual major light source. I've tried this with a 3-light setup before, with a backlight, rim light, hair light, whatever you want to call it. I find that it doesn't add, and my client is here. So here we go. I just finished the headshot session. It was great, it was fast. That's one of the things that I advertise with my classic studio sessions, is that they are literally 10 to 15 minutes. All you're really doing is getting a super fast headshot that you can use for LinkedIn, you can use it for Facebook, you can use it for websites, for your employer. So this isn't meant to be super creative, but it still needs to be well lit, well posed, and really genuine smiles. This was my key light, this was my fill light, this was power of 8, this was power of 4. I don't use a light meter, I just kind of use what I see in the camera. So I saw that that looked great. It was enough shadow and light for it to be interesting face shape without being too dark or too bright. It's a seamless white paper backdrop. I use Savage paper. When you use a white backdrop that's paper, is you get that no wrinkle effect. However, you can see there are some scuff marks on the floor, but really and truly those scuff marks do not show in a headshot because I'm focusing mostly on head and shoulders, even seated. If I do any full body where the whole body shows, the scuff marks actually get pretty much blown out by the light, but if I do see them, they're easy to edit. This is my setup for classic studio headshots, and super fast, super easy, get you in, get you out, get you a great photo that you can use, update your socials and all the websites.